Hello, this video presents Fairies, a board game for 2 to 5 players for games of a bit more than 1 hour. Fairies is a competitive game but with positive interaction. To succeed at Fairies, players will have not only to plan properly and manage resources but also to be helpful for the other players. Player plays the role of fairies that will try to be the most brilliant fairy of the school. The game is based on two notions that I will present first before getting into the details of the other rules. First of all, players will manage resources. Resources of the game are earth, vegetables, air, fire and water. There's also a conversion rate between the resources shown in this part of the board. For example, players can always replace a missing earth or water by 3 other resources of their choice. Second thing is that Fairies is a card game and cards have the following shape. At the bottom of the card is shown the effect of the card, what will happen when the creature is activated. If there are 2 lines, you should choose one of the 2 effects. For example here, an earth on the vegetables or a fire on the water. At the top of the card is the invocation cost, the cost that players will have to pay to acquire the card and put it in their deck. Some cards have no invocation cost because they are in the player's deck at the beginning of the game. At the bottom right corner you have number of victory points of the card, and at the bottom left corner you have the number of kindness points. These are specific points that will be brought to the player when it is played so that other players can also benefit from the effect of the card. Each game is played in 7 rounds. I will now explain you one of these rounds, each round being split into several phases that I will detail now. Each phase is played simultaneously by all the players, and the players just wait for the other players in between each phases. The first phase consists in filling the forest board, which is this big player board made of 2 lines of each 5 slots. So at the beginning of this phase, players just count the number of empty slots into those 2 lines, here 8, and draw that many cards. They will then place the cards at the position they want among those 8 slots. Players wait until each other player has filled their own forest before getting into the second phase. The second phase consists in playing 4 cards of the forest. Those 4 cards must belong to 2 columns. The 2 cards that are taken from the top row will be played above the forest, and the 2 cards that are on the lower row will be played below the forest. Playing a column has a cost. The cost is written on the bottom row below the cards. The cost is either a resource or a creature. This means that the player either pays the resource or plays the creature on the bottom row. The resource for the center is any resource of the choice of the player. Then starts the third phase, which consists in activating creature and doing their effects. This phase is also played simultaneously by all players, and in this phase, players will do as many actions as they want. Each action consists in choosing one card, putting one activation cube on the card, and then doing the effect written at the bottom part of the card. Players activate as many creatures as they want. They just cannot activate twice the same creature, and they can of course activate creatures that are also activated by other players. Players can activate the cards they played their turns, but also the cards that were shared, that is, that were played above the forest for their 2 neighbors, left and right. When each player has activated the cards he wanted to, we go to the next phase that consists in counting the number of kindness points of each player. For this, you count first the number of cubes from other players that are on your 2 shared cards, and you add to this the number of kindness points on the cards you've shared. In my case, here it's 2 cubes plus 2 points. I advance of 4 points in the kindness track at the center of the table. Then everybody discards the cards he played and gather their cubes. Then comes the creature study phase. In this phase, each player will be able to place one creature marker on one of the creature in their creature board on the left of their area. To place one token, players must choose one creature that has no token yet, and that is one creature shown on one of the cards that is either at the top left corner or the bottom right corner of the forest. Then both the card at the top left and the card at the bottom right corner of the forest are discarded. If the creature token you place corresponds to the second creature of the same element, like to Earth for example, then you immediately trigger the obtention of a certificate that will either help you for the rest of the game or bring you more points at the end of the game. At the end of the round, each card that is still in the forest moves either one step to the left or one step to the right. Then players can start the next round by filling again their forest. Additionally, at any point in time, a player can acquire one of the cards that he has selected and is above their deck. Each of those cards has a cost. If the player pays the cost in resources, he takes the card and puts the card at the top of the deck. At the end of the game, players gain points for studying creature, for the certificates they chose, and for the cards they acquired. And of course, they also gain points on the kindness track. The player with more points wins. This video explained 90% of the rules of the game. What wasn't explained, for example, is that some of the cards have special effects that allow the player to manipulate the deck. So Fairies School is a game that proposes to player a mechanism of interaction that is really positive in the sense that players will be rewarded for helping the others. And at the same time, players play simultaneously, so they are all involved in the same game at the same pace. Additionally, the game is based on resource management, some deck building, and a lot of planning. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the video.